Are conservative creators giving up on social media? Well, that's the topic we're going to be discussing here today live. So stick around for all of that and much, much more that's coming right. Live from Northern California, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. So that way, you won't miss a single thing when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. That's right. I'm here to help as many people as possible, as many people that are open to my help, get the best possible grip on their lives, so that way you can all accomplish whatever it is that your heart or hearts desire. Welcome to the show. Mutton Nuts World's in the house, and so is American Dream version 6.0. We'll get to you in just a second, sir. Mutt, thank you for being here. She's like, cool background today. But first, let me make sure that the notification has gone out on YouTube, and it has gone out on YouTube. I want to check out the back end and make sure that it's rolling nice and smoothly. And it is rolling nice and smoothly. And once again, today we are also simulcasting live on Facebook. So I just want to make sure that the Facebook side of things are rolling well as well. Posting live on Facebook. So I just want to make sure that the Facebook side of things are rolling well as well. I guess it's working. On Facebook, so... Oh my gosh. Everything's rolling well. American Dream 6.0 just became a channel sponsor, channel member. Thank you so much. American Dream, I want to start off by discussing you real quick. You've been an incredible supporter of this channel. More so privately, but now I guess you're coming out public. I mean, dude, when you become a sponsor, a member of this channel, and you make, what was that, a total of 6 super chats for a total of $6. Thank you. And now you just became a channel member for $4.99. I don't know what to say, man, but you know what I'm going to do, bro? I'm going to give you a big round of applause. Yes. Welcome. All right. Yeah, American Dream, you continue to blow my mind away. And if at any time you want to talk behind the scenes, you know how to reach me. Let's make it happen. I'm actually going to be going hiking for the weekend. Going hiking with the activity partner. So I'm not going to be around this weekend, so I will not be going live tomorrow or over the weekend, but as soon as next week, anyone wants to reach out, if anyone wants to reach out and chat with me, you know how to do it. Same with you, American Dream. And thank you so much once again for becoming a channel member. I think on one of your other channels, you became a member as well, man. So I don't know what to say. And thank you once again for your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 $1 super chats before we even went live. There they are. Man, thank you so much. You make me laugh, dude. And, in this day and age, in spite of what's been happening in our world, we all need a good laugh every now and then, right? Or maybe more than every now and then. Before we continue moving forward, let me take this opportunity to once again pay special props to this channel sponsor. That is none other than my wonderful, amazing, longtime friend, Troy Brewer, which is what I'm trying to say. He is the owner of a marketing company that is called the Discover Community Network, the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. for all of your product and service needs from the most trusted professionals in the industry. Please visit www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. One more time, that's www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. You can also visit a subsidiary of the Discover Community Network known as the DCN Internet Radio Network. And when you go on that website, you're going to find a bunch of music and talk internet radio stations. And more than likely, one of those music or talk internet radio stations will suit your music or talk genre needs. So if you love listening to music and talk radio, music and or talk radio, if I haven't already emphasized that enough, please consider checking out www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. One more time, that's www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. On the YouTube side of things, both those links are below the description, about a third of the way down. And if you go out to check out those websites, if you go and check out those websites, which is what I'm trying to say, and you find out how to connect with Troy by phone or email, and you reach out to them, please do not fail to mention that Coach Eli sends you with lots and lots and lots and lots of love. All right. I'll be checking in periodically over on the Facebook side of things in case anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns. I'll be primarily focused on YouTube, but I'll be checking in on Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook and you post a comment in the chat, just know I'll be checking periodically, and stick around because I will be answering all questions throughout this show. All right, so I don't know how long I'm going to be on for today, probably 45 minutes to an hour max. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this topic on top of what I've already said, but I felt the need to come out and do this show today because it just seems like to me we've got a bunch of angry and bitter men in our country here in the U.S. That are acting like big babies. And I want to be very professional and proper when I say this. I'm just stating the facts and stating what I've seen, what I've experienced. This is all based on my past experiences and some predictions I made last year. I went public on these predictions. I also shared these predictions with several people that I'm connected with behind the scenes. What just happened? I just thought I noticed something happened on the YouTube side of things, but no, we're good. Like I said, I shared these predictions with people behind the scenes and publicly, and these predictions have come true. So what were these predictions? Number one, I predicted that Joe Biden would be our next president and Donald J. Trump would not get reelected. That actually happened. I also went publicly and stated that if Donald Trump gets reelected, I will remove myself from most of social media, especially YouTube. Muttnuts World says, here listening and working on the thumbnail for my birthday live stream on Monday. Wow, can't believe my birthday is only 4 days away. Mutt, if you want to do something special on your birthday, you should have a panel. I will be there. You got to let me know in advance. Let me know over this weekend. I will be out of town doing some hiking with my activity partner, but I'll have my brand new iPhone 12 Pro Max, like I've been showing off lately, and I will get your messages, Mutt, on Hangouts, and we will make it happen. Let's have a big birthday bash, blast, however you want to call it, for you on Monday. How's that, Mutt? How does that sound? So anyway, like I said, I said that if Donald Trump was reelected, I was going to, leave most of my social media presence or minimize it and definitely stop creating on YouTube. And the reason why I said that is because I could not tolerate, I would not be willing to tolerate another 4 years of people being allowed to attack me in hateful and insightful ways, and be allowed to destroy my business and my brand and my right to free enterprise, which is what I'm trying to say, like many people have done to me out here on YouTube for the past 4 years, between a former channel I used to run and now this channel that I've been running for a little over 2 years now, the Agrip on Live channel. So when Joe Biden actually became the president, when he won the election, that was a big sigh of relief to me. At the same time, I wasn't rubbing it in the face of the other side, just like they did when they, defeated us, 4 years ago when Trump beat out Hillary Clinton and became the president. You see, when that happened, the people that voted for Hillary, the people on the left or the people that voted for Hillary, we were disappointed. And, we lashed out a little bit, but we got over it because we realized it's not worth fighting something that you can't fight. It is what it is, or it was what it was. Trump somehow won the election, and that's that. We didn't go out there and say there was widespread voter fraud. I mean, there was this thing with Russia and all that, but it really wasn't made to be as big of a deal as Trump made after he lost the election, claiming there was widespread voter fraud, which there wasn't, and there still isn't. And he still feels that same way to this day. And it's been interesting to me ever since Trump lost the election, and especially now that Trump is out of office and Biden is in, but Joe Biden got inaugurated yesterday, and he immediately went to work and started fixing things. It's been interesting to me how many of these conservative content creators that used to attack me out here on YouTube are reacting to this. And I'm going to be speaking about that here today. And it's not just these content creators that used to attack me, and I used to be a part of their, what do I want to call it? I used to be a part of this, I want to call it a hate group, but I didn't even know it was a hate group back then, or I would have never joined it in the first place. But it was just a dramasphere type of group that primarily consisted of a bunch of angry and bitter conservative Caucasian men that were, saying hateful and derogatory things about women because they're unhappy about modern day divorce laws, and the modern day court system favors women and this and that. I didn't know that these guys were just very, very hateful people that have been through so much in their lives to the point of where they just don't love themselves. They're very insecure. They're very immature. And because they feel like, they have no other way to have their say, they come out here on platforms such as YouTube and attack people they perceive to be better than them. That's pretty pathetic in my opinion. Hey, Lewis Fuller, welcome to the show. Lewis Fuller says, host, lots of love for you. Thank you so much, Lewis Fuller. Lewis Fuller says, and everyone in the stream, you have love for everyone, right, Lewis Fuller? That is awesome, man. That is absolutely awesome. Checking out Facebook, nothing happening over there. And on YouTube, we are good. Okay. So, anyway, earlier today, I wasn't even going to go live today. I was gonna take the rest of the weekend off. I was gonna, I believe the last time I did a stream was a few days ago. I was just gonna take a little time off, like almost a week off of YouTube. But I got a message from somebody behind the scenes that sent me some YouTube links to some creators that I haven't followed in a while. And I decided to go over and, one of them was a video, and I ended up watching the entire video. The other one was another creator that has known of me, and I've known of him for the last at least 3.5 years or so. I'm just going to mention their names today because I really don't care. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't matter to me if they want to respond to me or not, because the bottom line is, because of the changes in our government now, and things are going to be regulated much better, and hate's going to be dealt with much better, these people are not going to be able to do to me what they used to do to me. And even if they tried to do it, I've become much stronger out here on YouTube than I was even a few years ago. So it just would not faze me one bit. But I'm going to talk about a couple of creators today as an example and share with you folks, how they're reacting today because Trump lost re-election and Biden is in office, and how they were behaving while Trump was in office. It's just very interesting to me. So the first creator, Lewis says, I'm watching your ads in full. Thank you, Lewis. Did you get an ad on this stream? I'm hoping that YouTube hasn't already demonetized this. I'm going to check that right now just for poops and giggles. Sometimes they'll do it right away based on the title. But let's just check it out and see what's going on. No, we're green. Okay. Thank you, YouTube. You have not demonetized this stream. But you never know. That could happen in the middle of the stream. You never know. You never know. But thank you so much, Lewis, for watching my ads in full. I'm not really concerned about it, man. You do you. It's all good. Thank you so much. So first, I'm going to talk about a content creator that goes with the name of the Mad Shangy. I'm not going to say his full name. I don't want to, put out that information, even though he's put it out there before. His name is Patrick, and he goes by the Mad Shangy. He's been the Mad Shangy all over social media, I'd say for at least the past 7 to 10 years, maybe a little bit longer. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to be talking about another content creator that I went back and forth with for years, primarily on my former channel I used to run before I shut it down a couple of years ago. That channel was called Coach Eli, Uncompromising Business and Personal Relationship Coaching. And then even when I took a slight break after I shut down that channel a few years ago, I took three months off, and then I came back and started this channel. That person and myself went back and forth, and that person goes by the stage name of JB Gunner, not his real name. Everyone knows his real name. I don't need to put it out there, but he goes by the stage name of JB Gunner. So JB, I'm sure you probably still tune into my stuff every now and then. Every now and then when someone sends me a link, I'll check out your stuff. I'm really not that interested in your stuff, to be honest with you, and I think the same thing goes with you. But I just felt it was very interesting to discuss your reaction to President Trump not getting reelected, Joe Biden getting into office, and how your behavior, sir, has changed, in my opinion, for the better a little bit. I'm not saying you're completely reformed, JB, but what I'm saying is that I've seen a change in your behavior, and I think part of that has to do because you feel like you have no choice. You feel like if you continue doing the same things you were doing for the past 4 years on this platform, or even longer than that before you even knew I existed, right, then you would continue to get removed much easier than and much quicker than you already do get removed occasionally. I've never seen one content creator get removed from YouTube and the YouTube partner program as many times as JB Gunner has. But hey, at least you own that, JB. I got to give you that. So let's talk about Patrick, aka the Mad Shangy. So Patrick, aka the Mad Shangy, is a Canadian content creator. He is a guy that used to be heavily involved in a group called the MRA, which stands for Men's Rights Activists, okay? Or advocates, any way you want to look at it, men's rights activists or advocates. And basically, Shangy was one of those guys that felt the system has changed so much and has skewed so much more in the favor of women that men need to be made aware of what they're up against nowadays and the risks that men, end up taking when they date and marry a woman nowadays. And before I, met the Mad Shangy and came out here on YouTube 4 years ago, I had heard of the MRAs, but I really didn't know who they were. But then I heard of this other group called MGTOW, which stands for Men Going Their Own Way, like a more I wouldn't say more modern version of the MRAs, but more of a group that is about, raising awareness and basically coming out and saying that the downside risk of dating or marrying women in today's world is too great. The stove is too hot. So, we advise you guys to, disassociate yourselves from women as much as possible, because it's going to cause you nothing but problems. And all of these groups fascinated me because I really wanted to learn more about, what these guys were going through as a coach. I wanted to learn more about what they were going through. Same with the MRAs. And I really wanted to put in my 2 cents and give them a different perspective. Well, what ended up happening was, because I didn't agree with their agenda of how they were speaking about women in terrible and trashy ways, and basically blaming women for everything, even if they had some fault, to them going through a divorce or a breakup. That really started to it really just started to bug me. And I would question these guys and I would say, hey, do you guys really, really hate women? Do you guys really, really hate women, or do you hate yourself, right? They didn't like it when I said, do you hate women or do you hate yourselves, right? Because the truth of the matter is whether a man is attacking another woman or another man, and when I say attacking, I don't mean physically, I mean like, calling them out, talking smack about them, right? When a man is attacking any man or woman, all he's doing is projecting his insecurities onto that person. Well, I was the first person to come into these groups and come out there and start. I wasn't trying to call these people out, but maybe it came off that way. And I started saying, look, guys, this is an insecurity. You can work through this. I can help you through this, right? They didn't like that. So what ended up happening? These people started to attack me. They started to call me, C-U-C-K, Eli. They started, doing all this crazy stuff to me. And at this point, President Trump had just been elected in office, and these people felt more empowered because these people at the same time were Trump supporters. Now, as far as the Matt Shangy goes, I've had a love-hate relationship with Matt Shangy over the years. Not because I've wanted to have any hate for the guy. I really don't. I don't have any hate for anybody. When I say love-hate relationship, it's like sometimes things are good, sometimes things are bad. It kind of depends on his mood during that particular day, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think he's really a bad person. I think that he's gone through a lot of things, and he's been taking care of an ailing father, and he's had to, focus his life on other things that, in my opinion, have prevented him from really getting out there and making something out of himself, or even finding someone to have a great relationship with. Now, remember, these guys, when I talk about Matt Shangy, and let's say in a little bit when I talk about J.D. Gunner, these guys were talking so much trash about women. And they were saying, we're never going to, commit to a woman again. We're never going to marry a woman again. We don't need a woman, right? Well, lo and behold, the Matt Shangy ended up falling in love with somebody online. And, they had an online romance for a while, and they ended up meeting in person several months ago. And I honestly think, Shangy, that tremendously changed your life. And I even know when we get to J.D. Gunner, he actually has dated a few women, since, he left his wife many years ago. Now, J.D. Gunner is still legally married to his wife because, he says that the divorce would cost him a lot of money. So he hasn't gone through that divorce, but he hasn't been with his wife for a long time. But even him, he was preaching, MGTOW for a while and talking all this smack about women. Next thing you know, he had a girlfriend. And then finally, because of some things we were talking about him online here on YouTube. He ended up bringing her on camera, basically ended up doxing her. And it's funny to me that literally, I'd say about 6 to 7 months after he doxed her, out of frustration from all of us, calling him out on that and their relationship, she left him. But now, again, I believe he's with somebody else. Interesting, huh? So, you see, you guys are saying that we can live without a woman. You guys keep saying women are no good anymore. There aren't any good women left. But both of you guys now have a woman in your life. I'm happy for you guys, to be honest with you. I'm very happy for you guys. Because here's the thing. Women balance out men in ways that men, in my opinion, need to be balanced out. And men balance out women in ways that I feel women need to be balanced out. Men and women balance each other out, and we work best together. So whenever I've heard men talk so much smack about women, saying that we're never going to talk to another woman again, we're MGTOW, we're a man going our own way, blah, 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 blah. Come on, guys. I ain't buying that. I think a lot of these guys are just disappointed that nowadays, since women have been liberated and women are going to school, they're getting degrees, they're getting great jobs, they're making great money, okay? They're buying their own homes, their own cars, etc. I think a lot of men are intimidated, especially when many women are more successful than they are. And hey, guys, I can't blame you for feeling that way. So why not strive to work harder and make at least as much as the women are making, or maybe try to make a little bit more? It shouldn't really be a competition, but I can understand how any man would feel. Not taking anything away from women. I'm happy women have been liberated. Women can do everything nowadays that only once men were able to do. But guys, the truth of the matter is if you're looking to date a woman that is more successful than you and makes more money than you, not only is that going to, turn you off and intimidate you, whether you admit it or not, it's going to also not be attractive to her, because women in any day and age, including the modern world, women have always looked up to a man for a man's emotional strength, mental strength, his financial success, okay? How he takes care of himself physically, how he carries himself, right? And if a woman perceives you to be of less value than her, why would she want to be with you? Right? If you look at the natural biology of men and women in any era, why would a woman want to be with a man that has less of a perceived value than she does? Right? Does that make sense to you? So let me just finish sharing up this Matt Shangy story, and then I wasn't going to take a break, but I am going to end up taking a break because my allergies have been really acting up lately, and I need to clear my throat and, go take a little medication so I can make it through the show. Pardon me, it's allergy season for me, and it's been hitting me hard lately. So the Matt Shangy came out and put out a couple of videos over the last couple of days. I was not aware of those videos. I wasn't even aware of his new channel, Shangy. I wasn't even aware of it, but some people behind the scenes sent me these links and asked me for my opinion. And these people behind the scenes asked me, do I feel that the Matt Shangy is being genuine when he says that he's, going to stop creating on YouTube, or at least change his style up? Because first of all, he said that, now that Joe Biden is in office and they're starting to, change everything, he's one of those people that feels freedom of speech has been challenged on social media, including YouTube. I was asked, hey, do you believe that Shangy is being truthful with what he's saying? And I said, yes, yes, this time I actually believe him because he has no choice. The bottom line is, if these creators continue to create hateful content and inciting content and that incites violence, right? If they continue to attack other creators and incite violence on them like they used to do to me and many others, they're going to continue to get removed. They can't play that game anymore. And to be quite honest with you, they should have never been allowed to play that game in the first place. They got away with it for a little while because, in my opinion, Trump was trying to fight it for them. Trump was trying to change Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which, was going to hold social media companies more liable for the content they keep on the platform and also remove, was going to give the right to anyone and everyone to sue these companies for whatever reason. And by doing that, Trump was thinking that they were going to allow all type of speech on these platforms, including hate speech and inciting violence. Even if that was allowed on all these platforms, why would you want to be such a hateful person that incites violence? What makes you feel good about attacking people in hateful ways and inciting violence? Is that the way you want to live your life? So rules or no rules. Is that the kind of person you want to be? Seriously, does that make you happy to be a hateful person and a person that incites violence? Because if that's who you are, you got some serious issues beyond the scope of what I can help you with. You do. And that's a tremendous insecurity, especially if you're a man, where you need some serious help to get that, sorted out. And that's something beyond, that's something beyond the scope of what I can help you with. That's something you would need a therapist for, a psychologist for. Give me 1 second here, please. I'm sorry, I had to clear my throat. It's those darn allergies with the mucus and all that. So Shangy said that he's going to do one final round of burials on people. You going to do one on me, Shangy? I look forward to it. Have at it, man. It's all good. I'm not worried about it. I've moved on from all this stuff, right? But let me ask you this, Shangy. Is this your way of saying that you're reformed and you want to become a better person and not incite as much hate, or not incite hate at all, or attack people? Have you been reformed, buddy? Is that what it is? Or is it just because, we've got a new administration here in the U.S. that's a little more on the left than the right, and we're going to handle things differently, more maturely, professionally, and reasonably than what was handled during the Trump era? What's wrong with handling things professionally, maturely, and reasonably? We can say the same things, but say them in more mature and professional ways. I'm not talking about anything different, which is what I'm trying to say, than what you folks have always talked about. I just say it in more proper and professional words, and I don't get removed, and all my videos are monetized. Why can't you guys do that? If you guys learned how to control yourselves and control your emotions and not use such hateful and vulgar language and not incite any violence or call people C-U-C-K like you guys called me for years, you guys would be just fine. You wouldn't be getting removed. You wouldn't. But see, let me tell you what I think made the biggest difference in your life, Shangy, which is what I'm trying to say. What I think made the biggest difference in your life, I hate to admit this, but it's true. It's that woman that came into your life. Okay, now I've got my opinions about her, but I'm going to keep that to myself. But here's the thing, Shangy. You love her, she loves you. And whether you admit it or not, I'll tell you the same thing. When I've had a woman in my life, it kind of tones me down a little bit. Not because she's forcing me to tone down, when I have a woman in my life, it automatically, naturally balances me out. The truth of the matter is, both men and women need each other. We go out and we say we need each other nowadays, we get friend zoned, right? So we say, well, I don't need you and you don't need me, but I do want you. Do you want me? Right? So we speak in fancy words because, we don't want to come off as desperate or needy or insecure, right? But the truth of the matter is men and women do need each other. So the fact that you and this woman connected, and regardless of what I think about your relationship, it doesn't matter. All that matters is how you feel about each other and how you make each other feel together. And if you think for 1 second that woman didn't change your life for the better, I hate to admit it, even though I've got my opinions about her, if you don't think for 1 second that woman didn't change your life for the better, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I think you're starting to see the light that there are bigger and better things to do with how you invest your time rather than coming out here on a YouTube and creating hate streams and attacking people and doing all this crazy stuff, doxing people and all the crazy stuff that you've done for the past several years, right? So I will say this, Matt Cheng, aka Patrick. I know you don't like me. I know if you even respond or do a burial on me, you're going to come at me. That's fine, dude. Do what you got to do. I'm not worried about it. I'm not even going to check it out. It's not that big of a deal. But I will say this, man. I will say this. I am actually proud of the video you put out. I'm not happy at the fact that you still feel the need to go out in style and do some burials. That's a very immature thing to do, but that's you. You're gonna do you, right? But the fact that you're realizing the time has come to move on from all this nonsense, and a lot of this nonsense doesn't belong online, that says a lot. To me, maybe you haven't completely reformed yourself, but I think you're heading in the right direction. And despite what you think about me, I'm pretty proud of you for that. So, good luck to you, man. God bless you, and good luck to you. Okay. All right, give me 1 second here. All right, we are at 37 minutes. What I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to step away and take a quick 5 to 7 or 8 minute break. When I get back, I'm going to share, one more story about my experiences with JB Gunner. It's going to be very professional. There's going to be no attacking, nothing. I'm going to be sharing what I've seen him do lately and compare it to what he did in the past. And really share more about, the reaction of this group of conservatives, this group of Trump supporters, which is pretty much half this country here in the U.S., how they're responding and how they're really, really down. And they feel like it's the end of the world. They feel like the country is coming to an end because Joe Biden's in office. It's just really sad to see that these people really, really were 100% dependent on Trump to feel happiness and to feel like an American and to feel like America is a great place to be. It's pretty sad. So I'm going to share more about that when I get back. So for right now, I'm going to queue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Give me just a second here. All right, I just need one more. All right, music's all set, folks. Once again, I'm going to step away for a 5 to 7 or 8 minute break. When we return, I'm going to share one more example. I'm going to talk about the infamous JB Gunner. It's not going to be an attack on JB. It's just going to be my thoughts, comparing the Trump era to now the beginning of the Biden era, and the shift that I've seen with JB Gunner and his audience. It's very interesting, the shift that I've seen, and I called it. I knew it, that if Trump didn't get reelected, these people were going to just feel like they lost it all. They don't seem to have the same fire that they had, and they were all very angry and bitter at first, but after 2 months, they kind of like, I wouldn't say they've completely accepted it, but they're trying to find ways to deal with it. Like these people that follow JB or these other conservatives, that were big Trump supporters, they kind of feel like they lost a loved one, like a close loved one just passed away. That's how these people are feeling after Trump lost the election. They don't want to accept it because to them, losing Trump feels like losing a special loved one, a close person, a close family member or friend that passed away. That's what these people feel that they lost. And it's pretty sad that they feel that way about it when bigger and better things are right around the corner for everyone. And they just don't get it. So I'll share more about that when we return. So stick around. We'll be right back. We're back. Mutt, can you hear me today? I know there were some audio issues in hearing me on my last show when I came back from the break, but it should be working fine. Mutt, can you hear me? She'll say welcome back, and she'll let me know if she can hear me. Ooh. Game over, thank you for playing. Game over, thank you for playing with me. Oh, she can hear me, oh yeah! Yeah! I feel good, do you feel good with me? The world's about to become a better place, and I can't wait. I feel so positive about the next 4 years. I just feel so positive. I can't even fathom anything going wrong. I don't see anything going wrong from this point on. I think we're going to have some great changes in our world, and I can't wait to see them all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube, and once again, also simulcasting live on Facebook. Glad you could all join me here today on this beautiful Thursday evening. It is Thursday, January 21st, 2021, the day after Joe Biden officially, which is what I'm trying to say, was inaugurated into office, and already got down to business, signing a bunch of executive orders, flipping some things around that he felt, Trump didn't do right. I certainly support President Biden on those executive orders. I put a lot of trust and faith in the man, because I'll tell you, he has every single person's or every single American's best interest in his head and in his heart. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit, so stick around. We're also going to be discussing YouTube content creator JD Gunner, who's been on this platform for many years and had a run-in with me years ago that lasted for many years. I guess you can call it a YouTube beef. I now more so know what it was. It was whatever he could do during that time to gain traction and make money at anyone else's expense. Lesson learned. I was an inexperienced YouTuber back then, and he took advantage of that. So, hey, I understand it, JB, and I understand how to play the game a little bit better now, or a lot better now. But before we get to that, the topic of today's show is conservative social media creators are running scared. The real reasons they are reacting this way. One more time. Conservative social media creators are running scared. The real reasons they are reacting this way. Well, I have to ask you, conservative content creators out there on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever mainstream, social media platform you're using, why are you so scared? You can continue doing the same things you've always done. You just have to tone down your language a little bit. You have to tone down your hate. You have to tone down your vulgarity. You have to, get rid of all of the racism and all of the attacking, the incitement of violence that you folks have done. That is not included as part of your freedom of speech. And like I mentioned earlier on in the show, and I've mentioned many times in the past, whether that's a part of your freedom of speech or not, is that the way you want to live your life? Is that the way you want to present yourself to the world, as a hateful person that, feels, racism is okay and feels that hate and attacking other people is okay and incitement of violence is okay? I mean, I have to ask you that above and beyond the rules of social media and the law itself. Why do you want to be that kind of person? You might come back at me and say, if I choose to be that kind of person, it's my choice to be the way that, I want to be, right? That is certainly true. And in your own home, you could do whatever the heck you want. But when you're in someone else's house, they have their own rules. That doesn't mean they're violating your freedom of speech. That means they have their rules and they don't want to deal with negativity and hate and violence. That's not what a real American is. A real American does not believe in hate and incitement of violence, does not believe in racism. And Mutt says, yeah, welcome back. Yes, I can hear you. She also says, got lots of snacks and sodas is going to be good. Yeah, it is. It is, because sorry, I'm getting a message from behind the scenes. Well, let me say this to the person behind the scenes. I'm not kissing anybody's what, okay? I'm sharing my thoughts. I'm sharing my thoughts on my experiences. This is how I feel. To the person behind the scenes that sent me a message, you may have a different opinion about this, and you're certainly entitled to that. And if you want to voice that opinion publicly, you have the right to do that. You can go live on a YouTube channel and do that right now. And I'm not saying I don't respect your opinion. I do respect your opinion. I disagree with it. And this is my house. In my house, I do what I want to do. I'm myself. This is what I believe in. Just because I may not agree with you about my thoughts regarding someone or something doesn't mean that, I'm against you. Come on now. It's so funny to me. It's just so funny to me. People just can't respectfully disagree with other people's opinions. They have to just come at them, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. No big deal. The show must go on. So let's get right to it here. So you've got a lot of social media or conservative social media content creators that are unhappy now that Biden is in office and Trump is no longer there, because they feel, not solely on that fact, but a big part of the fact that that they feel they're being silenced is because Trump is no longer there to protect them, right? And like I said, again, that's the furthest thing from the truth. It's the furthest thing from the truth. All these guys, and it's funny, these guys are primarily middle-aged Caucasian men. They're primarily middle-aged Caucasian conservative men, like I said in the past, that are in the red states, the Trump states, in the Midwest and the South. We call it Trump territory, right? We'll call it Trump territory. So, and, those, like I said before, those types of people, with no disrespect, I'm just stating the facts, the majority of them that are behaving this way and lashing out in this way are lower class people that most of them are not as educated as they could be. No disrespect, those are just the facts. Maybe they're not making as much money as they feel they should be making. Maybe they're struggling to make ends meet. Maybe they've struggled all their lives. Maybe it stems back to their upbringing with their parents. Maybe they came from a broken household and they didn't learn, what nurturing love really is. They had to always fend for themselves, which is what I'm trying to say. And so they never really learn what it takes to be a really good person and just kind of let some things go, right? So now, when it comes to J.D. Gunner, I'm not going to go deeply into my experiences with him in the past. Many of you that have been following me for years know the story. If you're new here, just a brief summary. For the last this has stopped, I'd say, for the last at least 6-7 months. JB and I have not been going at each other. He hasn't been coming at me. But for the previous 2 to 2.5 years before that, stemming back to my former channel, and even stemming as forward as the first year of this new channel here that I started a couple years ago, JB Gunner did a lot of things to me because he was an experienced YouTuber. He's a conservative YouTuber, and he knew I was a liberal, slightly on the left. He also knew my views were different, and he knew the YouTube system to the point of where, he did a bunch of crazy things. He ended up, playing the doxing game. He looked into my life and put a lot of information about me online publicly. Now, it's all public information. People can go out there and find it. But, he wanted to make everything extremely apparent. He looked into my family and many other things I've done my entire life. This person dissected my entire life. He basically made me his show for like at least 1.5 to 2 years or so. And made a lot of money doing it. At one point, every single video I would put out or live stream I would do, he would either, replay the whole video and dissect it in front of an audience that, felt the same way about me as he did. And because he found an audience of people like that wanted that kind of content on me, he kept on, stealing my content. He's going to say it's not, but he was stealing my content. He would simulcast my live streams. He didn't have a care. He didn't have a care to the fact of how much it was affecting me and hurting my business and my brand. And it did. And throughout that whole entire time, I did everything I could to report him to YouTube, to flag him for cyberbullying and harassment, hate speech and vulgar language. I flagged him for copyright many times. But what would he do? What would he do? He would file a counter notification. And back in those days, the only way that you could win a copyright case when somebody files a counter notification on your initial copyright takedown is you'd have to file a federal copyright lawsuit in a federal court that would cost tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And because JB knew that there's no way I'm going to sue him in a federal, copyright court, okay, he would always play the system. And it got to the point of where I just stopped filing copyrights on him because all he would do is file a counter notification, and then, 10 to 14 days later, when I didn't sue him, he would have his videos reinstated, the copyright would come off his channel, and it'd be like nothing happened. So this is a guy that basically was playing the system to be successful at other people's expense. That's what really bothered me. And I'll be real honest. I felt helpless because I was doing nothing wrong, and these people were violating my copyright and defaming my character and doxing me and my family and doing all these crazy things. And I would try to report it to YouTube and not a damn thing happened, right? But now let's fast forward to where we're at today. What happened, in the month, between November, once Biden won the election, that started to turn things, right? And then what happened? Okay. Congress passed the CASE Act. It's the Small Claims Copyright Court was passed. So what happens now if somebody steals your copyright or steals your content and it's not fair use? These people, all these conservative guys that were doing this, always would come out and claim it's fair use. It's fair use. No, it's not fair use when you use the whole damn thing. When you share my whole entire video, even if you do commentary the whole way, why would anyone want to come to my channel and watch the rest of the video if you show the whole thing or share the whole thing, right? So now, if somebody uses your copyright and you take them down for copyright, if they file a counter notification, you have 10 business days to file a lawsuit, even in a small claims copyright court. Now, the Case Act passed, but that small claims copyright court is not quite set yet. It should be, starting anytime soon here in the new year. So at this point right now, if these people wanted to get away with playing the copyright game, you'd still have to sue these people in the federal court. But it's coming, right? And how much of a difference has that made for someone like me? A world of difference, because now I don't feel helpless anymore. And see, conservative creators like J.D. Gunner knew the system. And they already knew that there was nothing I could do. So in essence, he knew he could get away with doing what he was doing, taking advantage of myself and my content and making money off of it, right? That's just one example, right? So that's pretty much what this guy did to me. This guy basically rode the Coach Eli wave for like 2 years and made a lot of money doing that, right? And again, there was really not much I could do about it because the way the laws were written were very poorly, right? Now everything's changing, right? Now all of these options that allow these conservative creators to skate by the system and to play the system are no longer available. Now they're crying and whining and complaining because now they have to create legitimate content, right? Legitimate, cleaner content, right? And their audience is not used to that legitimate, cleaner content. They want the raw, hateful, content that also includes incitement of violence and racism and hate speech. They want all of that, right? And that's what they tune into, right? But now, because all of these social media companies are turning things around and saying, no, we're not going to have that anymore. We're taking a stronger stance now. We're going to remove you if you do that. Now these people are whining like little babies. And they're complaining and saying that our freedom of speech is gone. Our country as we knew it is no longer. This is the end of America. That's what I'm hearing all of these conservative content creators and their audiences say. And it's really, really freaking sad to me. See, JB, I got a chance to hear part of your show earlier today. And you had like 2 or 3 people call in. I think they were all black. I think they were all African American. And that's great. That's great, man. I'm glad that, when it comes to allowing people onto your show, you're very diverse, right? And it's funny to me, JB, how nice you were as a Caucasian man, how nice you were to these African American men that called into your show. But then at the same time, you come out and say, there's nothing illegal about racism. There's nothing, illegal, about hate or anything like that. It's not against the law to be a racist. Well, you're right about that, JB. You're right about that. But just because it's not against the law to be a racist, why would you want to be one in the first place? And secondly, just because it's not the law doesn't mean that YouTube or Twitter has to allow that on their platform. That has nothing to do with your freedom of speech. That has to do with Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and other social media platforms not wanting hate on their platform, not wanting racism on their platform. They don't want incitement of violence. And you know what? If you want to blame anyone, JB, for ruining this, You can blame your former President Trump for this, for inciting the violence that happened on Capitol Hill a few weeks back. That's why they took that action. So if there's anyone to blame, JB, it's your own former commander-in-chief. He's the one that ruined it for you. Yet you're still calling him the Messiah. You're still saying, well, now that we no longer have Trump in office, the U.S., the country is dead. The America as we once knew it is no longer. We just got to suck it up and, deal with it and look forward to 2024. Okay. That's the way you want to look at it. That's the way you want to look at it. But what I will say is this, is that to all of these conservative creators out here that think they are being deplatformed as a violation of their freedom of speech, that's not what you're being deplatformed for. You're being deplatformed for violating the guidelines, which they're allowed to have. These are private companies. An example, if you were to come into my place and hang out with myself and other friends, let's say I have a girlfriend at the time, if you were to come into my place and start using racial slurs and start attacking anybody that's hanging out with us, if you start being inappropriate or out of line, I'm going to kick your ass out. I have the right to do that. Does that mean I'm violating your freedom of speech? No. That means I don't like your attitude and I don't want you around. And I have the right to refuse service to anyone. That's a fancy business way of saying the same thing in my place. I have the right to let anyone come into my house and not let anyone come in. That's the bottom line. It's a figure of speech. I think you understand that. And you folks get that, right? Look at it this way. Whenever you go to a business, there's a sign as you leave on the inside that says, "We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone." Some of them even have it, in their actual, on their actual walls, right? We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, and they're legally allowed to do that. It's up to them, right? It's the same thing with you coming to my place, me coming to your place. You have the right to refuse service to anyone. Same thing with YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn, okay, and Facebook. They have the right to refuse service to anyone. They don't have to have you on their platform. It is not a right to be on those platforms. It is a privilege. Those are free platforms that allow you to come on there and share stuff on social media as long as you abide by the guidelines, which you guys have not, and you still don't. Most of you still don't. Another content creator, Tim Pool, he continues to talk about things that YouTube has said we don't want on the platform anymore. What's done is done. It's over. Move on. And he continues to talk about these things. And then he says, he says at some point they're probably going to remove me. Well, they probably are going to remove you at some point, Tim, because you just don't stop. You've been warned. What's it going to take? Right? And even for you, JB, here's the thing. You also continue to talk about things on your main channel with almost 10K subs now that YouTube has said we don't want here. You continue to talk about the election being stolen, which it wasn't. How do you not know someone is flagging you? Now, I'm not flagging you anymore, JB. I don't have time to do that. I could care less what you do, right? But how do you not know someone is not flagging you with timestamps and saying, hey, this creator is violating, your rule on, not mentioning that the election was stolen or there was widespread voter fraud when it wasn't neither or either. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. It's almost like you're asking to be deplatformed. So you can have another reason to whine and complain, come back on another channel and stir up more controversy and drama and get your already triggered audience even more triggered, and that way the donations keep coming. I know the game, JB. I know the game. To you, it doesn't matter if you get kicked off, right? Because if you get kicked off, that's just another exciting thing for your audience to tune into when you come back on a different channel. It's all a game to you, dude. That's what it is. It's all a game to you, dude. And if that's the way that you choose to live your life and run your business and run your social media or run your YouTube channels, then that's on you, man. That's on you, man. I just think it's really sad. I just think it's really sad because I really think most of you conservative creators could start creating some better content, some better, cleaner content, and maybe start collaborating with some of us, liberals, and, learning to create more peace, love, and unity. Why wouldn't you want to collaborate with us and have some civil conversations? We don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to even agree on anything, but why don't we discuss our differences in a professional and mature way? Why? Or why not? Because you know that won't get you the audience. You know your audience is the type of audience that wants to see hate and incitement of violence. They want to hear racial slurs. They want to hear all the crazy stuff, right? Because that's what they've been accustomed to. And in addition, that's all these people know, because these people are just like the rest of you. You folks are lower class, second class citizens, to be exact. No, I'm not trying to be rude. You're second class citizens, right? You try to come off as first class citizens, which I really hope you can all become first class citizens. We should all be first class citizens, but you folks are looked upon as second class citizens. You're looked upon as second class citizens. And I think you folks deep down inside know that. And that's why you feel you have to fight the way you fight. That's why you react the way you react, rather than saying, you know what? Enough of this. Enough of this division. Enough of this hate. Enough of this incitement of violence. Let's become better people. Real Americans don't fight. Real Americans bond. We bond. And we go further together as a team. We unite. Why do you think it's called the United States of America? We're called the United States of America, and we are the divided states of America. Because of you folks out there, right? So I'll wish you the best of luck, JB, in whatever you do. I've moved on, I've done my own thing, and quite frankly, I feel I'm in a good position now. Now, I'm nowhere near where you're at, and I haven't made the money you've made. That's fine. You want to come back at me with something, that's what you're going to say. And I can challenge you and say, well, how have you made your money? Go back and rewind what I just said for the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and you'll hear how you made your money, most of your money, right? And now, the real reason why you're upset is because you can't make money the same way you used to. Maybe you're going to try, and you're still trying, but you're realizing that you're going to be removed a lot more often. It's going to eventually be very, very difficult to continue doing what you're doing out here. Another thing that Google did earlier this year, they started making Google accounts, which is what you need to be on YouTube, because, Google owns YouTube. They started making it more difficult to verify Google accounts. Great thing, right? Look what's happened to a lot of the trolls on YouTube. A lot of the trolls on YouTube have either been shut down by YouTube, for, hateful content and accounts that incite violence, or they've been taken down for copyright. And these trolls that used to create hundreds and hundreds of accounts can no longer do that, right? Look what's happening. I'm actually glad it's happening. I couldn't wait for this moment to come. This needed to happen. This needed to happen. So again, I wish you the best of luck, JB, seriously. And no hard feelings about the past. right? I've gotten over it. I've moved forward. I just really wish that one day you and the other person I was talking about, Shangy, and any other conservative content creator like Tim Pool, I really wish you folks could stop acting like babies and accept things that have happened. Hey, your president didn't get reelected. All right. It's sad, right? When Hillary wasn't elected, or when Hillary didn't win the race 4 years ago, I wasn't happy about it. A lot of us on the left weren't happy about it, right? We complained a little bit about it. A few days, then we went on. We're like, what are we going to do? Waste our time complaining over something that's not going to make a difference? No. See, the thing with you conservatives is you guys just don't stop. You don't stop. And you're never going to stop. You're going to be talking about this for like the next 4 years. Instead of, saying, look, let's give Biden a chance. Biden says he's about unity, and he's not just the president for Democrats. He's a president for all Americans. That includes you folks on the right and down the middle. Why don't you give it a chance and see what happens? Why don't you give it a chance and see what happens? Again, I think what this all boils down to is this. A lot of these conservative extremist content creators have an audience of people that are used to seeing a certain type of content. And that type of content is very hateful, inappropriate, and insightful content. And you folks know the moment you try to clean things up, your audience will diminish. That's a fact. That's the truth of the matter. That's why you folks are whining, because here's the thing. If you folks were not about creating hateful and insightful content, okay, and vulgar content and all that, if you weren't about that, then you would have no problem with Biden being in office, because Biden is trying to clean that up and make this world a better and safer place. Have you ever thought of it that way? So again, this all stems down to one thing. Do you want to be a good person, a good American, or do you want to be a horrible American? Do you want to be someone that's just a horrible person? You can choose to be whoever you want to be in your house. But if you behave inappropriately in my house, YouTube's house, or anyone else's house, they have the right to kick your ass out. So either play by the rules or don't play at all. That's the way I'm going to end this show here today at 1 hour and 23 minutes. Folks, it's game over. Thank you for playing. It's game over. You guys played your game for the last 4 years. You played your game, and for the most part, you got away with it. Now, it's over, right? It was fun while it lasted, right? It was fun while it lasted, right? Did you folks think that this was going to be sustainable long term? I kept saying that for the last 4 years. If you guys keep doing what you're doing with your content, you're going to be removed at some point. It's not sustainable long term. And now I'm not trying to say I'm all that. Every single thing I said over the last 4 years that would eventually happen is now happening. And I'm very happy that we're heading in a better direction. I'm very happy that we're heading in a more positive and genuine direction. With that being said, I want to thank everyone for being here. Let me check out Facebook real quick and see if anybody showed up over there. Nobody showed up over there today. That's okay. I want to thank Mud Nuts World for being here in the chat. I also want to thank Lewis Fuller for being here. And once again, I want to thank American Dream 6.0 for the $6 $1 super chats, and then the $4.99 sponsorship. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it. Again, folks, I'm going to be going hiking unless something changes, and it could possibly change at the last minute. You never know. You never know. But more than likely, I will be going hiking with my activity partner over the weekend. So I will not be live tomorrow on Friday, Saturday. and Sunday. I will be back Monday. Monday is Mutt Nut World's birthday. We're going to probably end up doing a stream on her channel, which I'll promote on my channel if she does it and gets me the link in advance. And then I may end up doing another live stream on Monday evening. If not, I'll definitely be back by Tuesday. With that being said, have yourselves a great day and a great weekend, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.